Man, this is harder than it looks.
See that, Gennaro?
Got it.
The farmhand managed.
Huh?
Just get in. Let's get out of here.
Oh, Donna Mazzari.
Hello there, my YouTube friends and fans. Welcome to Mafia the Old Country. Like I always do, unless I do a walkthrough, I try to make spoiler-free videos. I just wanted to make this video to kind of encourage anyone who's kind of on the fence about this game to go ahead and play this game because it's absolutely beautiful. I don't usually play heavy story-driven games, but I did play Mafia 1 and 2 on the PC and then Mafia 3 on the Xbox. And I enjoyed all of them equally, literally. They were just fascinating and beautifully done. All the details and just what you could do. I don't know. I can't explain it. There's just something about it that drives people to play the Mafia games. And they're also very successful because of it. And this is why I had very high anticipation for this game. I wasn't even expecting a new Mafia game at all. I thought that 3 were fine and they kind of closed it with 3, but no, there is another one and here it is. And I was so happy when the day arrived where this game finally was in my hands. It's been quite a while since I played Mafia 1 and 2, so I don't remember all the details about it anymore and the story and everything. I just remember the visuals mostly and that I just loved it a lot. And I knew that this game was not open world and I was fine with that, even though I really love open world games. I can do non-open world games in between, totally fine. But what threw me off about this game at the beginning when you start is just that it's extremely linear and extremely limited on any freedom that you have. And that kind of confined me a little bit to the point where I was feeling like, if the whole game is like this, I don't know if I will have as much fun as I was expecting. And while the story is amazing and the graphics are absolutely incredible, as you know, if you followed me for a while, I'm a sucker for realistic graphics and realism in games in general. I still don't want it to be like a walking simulator like the new Hellblade was. I want to have some fun with smashing buttons, and not necessarily smashing buttons, but just kind of have control over the character and control over the scene, what happens next. And that's actually happening after you maybe are into it for like 2 hours or so. They finally let you free and make your own decision, and it's not that the game forces you to play a certain way anymore. There are still cutscenes obviously coming up again and things that are to a point where you are forced to walk a certain way or a certain path, but more and more scenes come up where you can just start exploring the environment and look at things that you couldn't before because you could only walk a certain path. And that's when the fun really started to kick in, and I was super happy that I bought this game. No regrets whatsoever. I just knew I'm gonna love it, and it just got better from there. The gunplay is extremely satisfying and there's actually a lot of guns to play with. All of them are really fun to use, and you also have a knife. So you basically have a knife, some sort of a pistol or short shotgun as a secondary, and then you have rifles and big shotguns as the primary, and you can pick and choose them as you want, and you also can pick up the weapons that you find from the enemies, and there's always going to be a lot of loot on enemies, which is always fun for those of us who just love to loot. I had so much money at the end and never really spent any of it. Well, maybe a tiny little bit. The one thing that I didn't like so much though is that the game gives you a lot of hand holding. It is very, very forgiving. You can literally make mistakes that would cost you a lot in other games, and here it's just kind of like, no big deal. Let me give you full health again. You're fine, and you don't have to go back very far. But what was definitely quite challenging was the horse race. They also have a car race, and yeah, you have to win in both of them. So of course you are like nail biting the whole way through. And there's actually people that I heard that had struggled with this horse race. I personally didn't have a hard time with it. I did it the first way around, but it is definitely challenging enough for some people to struggle. So I think that was great. And then a little bit farther in the game, you realize that you don't have to like go from mission to mission, that you actually can just kind of like walk around on your own and check out the people and the architecture and whatever else there is. And I really highly recommend you do that if you kind of want to really get the full feeling of the game and not just play from mission to mission, because you really miss out. There is so much detail and so much beauty in this game, and there's so many places that you won't see if you just play from mission to mission. And also, I can tell you that this is really how it feels in Italy, because I spent many childhood summer vacations in Italy, having lived only just across the border. And as you can see here on the right lower corner where the odometer is, right above it, it says skip drive. So yes, if you're in a hurry and you just want to rush through the story, you can skip any of the drives. Some of them are actually really long, and some people may not have the time or the patience to go through the whole drive. But it is so much fun to actually use all the different cars, more on that later, and just kind of see which route you should drive and kind of test out the cars. I was driving here with another guy, and I wanted to see if I can freak him out a little bit by just not driving orderly and kind of try if I can do some donuts here with a racing car. And also, you know, just look at the details of those old-timer cars. They're just so accurate and so beautiful. I just couldn't get enough of it. As you can see, I had my share of fun. Yeah, but if you try to do donuts with those cars, it doesn't quite work out here. I had 3 other guys with me. I got a really good laugh out of it, because I was like, I wanted to see if those guys react to my driving, but they just kept their cool. Oh well. So now to the customization. There's actually a lot of customization. First of all, for your wardrobe. And when you start, you only have a few clothes, and then you get more and more and more and more, and you can purchase like all kinds of different clothes, and they get unlocked as you play. Really cool clothes. What you see here is not even the full list. And then you can also play around with different hairstyles and a few different hats. Pretty cool. And then you can also shave yourself or have other hairstyles. And then at different locations, it gives you an option to swap weapons or even buy new ones. You can see here there is a lot of different knives, all types of different knives. I didn't really see the value of buying other knives, because they're kind of like more or less the same. The look is different. Then they have different like sidearms here, which is cool. I kind of checked them all out. And then they have different primary weapons. There's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a really long list once you're like getting farther into the game. I recorded this like at the beginning of the game, and those weapons already were very good and did the job. And then you can do the same with the horses. Also, the list will get longer over time, but I didn't see so much benefit in that. They're all kind of like the same. And while I really enjoyed driving the different cars for a while, after a while, when they gave me the choice between, you know, going to the car or get onto a horse, I got onto a horse. Because I just think the riding in this game feels so smooth, the controls are so smooth, and it feels so realistic too. The horses look very realistic. They move realistic. And it just feels like you're actually on a horse, even though it's not like in first person. But I have to say, it felt much better than it felt in Red Dead Redemption 2, which was a great game when it came to horseback riding. And there we also could do it in first person. But I was fine here with third person because it was still a lot of fun. And then about the cars, you can go to a shop like here or other places, and then you can switch to different cars, or you can buy new cars. And this is here more like at the end of the game where you can kind of see the full list of cars as far as I know. But look at those cool cars. I had my favorites. I didn't actually buy any cars because I just didn't feel the need to it. And I also didn't really customize the cars because I liked the colors they came in. Regretted it later because there is actually an achievement you get by customizing a car. So I highly recommend you at least trying to change it, even though it's not cheap if you don't have a lot of money. And then you can always go back to the default if you don't like the customized color. And then later in the game, when I was trying to get the collectibles, I did it by horse and then realized that it would go much faster if I was driving. So I switched my beloved horse to my beloved car, which is this car. And again, just kind of drove a little bit crazy because why not? I was free to do whatever. So I tried the donuts again, but I just kind of partially succeeded with that. And then there's also the charms that you can equip. You find them on the way during missions and stuff, and they give you certain abilities which can help you or not. I didn't really pay too much attention to that. I did switch it a little bit, but then after a while I kind of forgot about it and I was doing fine without it. And there's a million journals you find on the way. I tried to pick them all up. I didn't read all of them, but one of them is a very delicious sounding recipe, which I definitely want to try out. And then for the collectibles, you can find spots to make photos, find Saints cards, and newspapers. But the whole time I was playing this game, I was like, how you even able to find all the collectibles, because you're so on rails and there's not much freedom until I finally got a chance to just in between two missions go and explore the whole map. But then I was like, man, that's so hard because you have to literally look everywhere. How do you even know where the collectibles are? There's so much details and so many nooks and crannies. This is gonna take me like months to find all those collectibles. Like those mystery foxes, sometimes you can see them really well and sometimes they're hidden in a corner in a dark spot or up on a tower where you don't even think to go. But I found more and more of them, so I was like thinking, well, maybe I can do it. But then I looked at the number and it says you have to find 50. So I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to finish this. But the Saints card were a little bit easier because you knew it always had to be like an altar like this and you can spot them pretty easy. And every time you pick one up, you are kind of forced to do a little prayer. Those go pretty fast though. And then here you can look at the collection at this point. I only had 3, many more to go. There are 20 overall. And as you can see here, I spotted another altar. They are definitely easy to find. For a long time, I didn't really know how you find out where to take photos. I had no clue because I never saw an indication until I accidentally ran into one of those like circles on the ground and I'm like, oh, there is an indication. That's how I find them. So once you have it, step on it and then you have to adjust the camera until it's like yellow everywhere until the photo is basically sharp. And that's pretty easy to learn. And it's actually also quite fun. So the yellow circle shows, I make a little adjustment and then it says it's okay. I take the photo and here we go. I can look at it. It's only in black and white, but that's how it was back then. You're probably gonna laugh, but I didn't know you can zoom in the map like all the way. And if you do zoom in on the map, you can actually see all the collectibles where they are. And I'm like, duh. I wish I would have known that earlier, but it still helped me because I only had about 20% of collectibles done. So once I knew that, of course, I couldn't wait to rush to all those points and get those collectibles. But even though I went to every single marked spot on the map to get those collectibles, at the end I still didn't have 100% on any of them. And I didn't know why, because I literally couldn't find any marks on the map anymore. I know for the mystery fox you have to kind of find them, it's not telling you, but for the other things it should tell you, or I could be wrong. I just didn't have it in me to go look anymore, but at least I was able to literally explore every nook and cranny of the whole map, which I highly recommend because I found so many spots that you would never know about if you didn't do that. And the game is that good that I truly felt sad when it was over. I was so emotionally just moved by the whole game, the story, the visuals, everything. I just was like sad that it was over. But like all good things, they come to an end eventually and the memory is lost. And there's always a way to come back because at the end of the game, they actually give you a free roam option, which I also didn't know. So you can actually do all your collectibles at the end after you finish the story. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy gaming. Take care. Bye-bye.